to Arijit to give us a demo in action.
Thank you very much, Rita. Hi, everyone. I have a confession to make. I've been in this space of AI for 20 years, and I've been in meetings where I told customers, just throw some AI at it and it'll work. And the problem with it was, and by the way, I have like 17 patents in the space, I was a recovering nerd, all that good stuff, right? The problem was I was completely wrong. And I was wrong for 3 reasons. The first reason is, and this has shocked some of you, accuracy does not mean impact. I can have a very, very accurate model and it can lead me accurately astray. Very simple thing, let's say the cost of selling something is $1, the benefit of selling it is $100. Any reasonable person will say, hey, I'll take 99 false tries to get the last deal, right? Incredibly accurate when you think of it from the perspective of AI. The second problem, real businesses have constraints. You don't have 500 salespeople, you have 50. Or if you have 500, you don't have 5,000. The problem is AI that doesn't consider the real business constraints gives us this magical worlds that actually can't be achieved. And the last is the most insidious of them all. I used to see people go in and say, hey, I have a great model, it's 87% accurate. Look, it is so much better than a coin toss. People should just deploy it. How many of you know businesses that run on coin tosses? The problem is a salesperson who's been in the space for 20 years has a lot of domain knowledge. They're not flipping coins in a room to decide what leads they go after. So if you don't consider what the human is doing, if we dehumanize the process, we are going to end up with AI that actually costs us money the moment it's deployed. So I went through this journey and we decided to build Aible to show how we should do it in a different way. So instead of trying to teach humans how to talk AI, what if we let AI learn business? So you give it the data, but you also tell it what's your cost-benefit trade-off, what's your operational constraint, and what the heck are you doing today? It still goes in and tries many, many AIs. But instead of giving you a rank-ordered list of accuracy, where we talked about accuracy isn't the best thing, it actually tells you, given your constraints, here's the best AI. Does this make sense? Now, the second part of this, I just have to prove this to you and to set up the demo. Let's take an example of a sales use case. So I have a customer, this is actually based on a real case. $25,000 was the benefit of a sale, $200 was the cost of a sale. Everybody agrees this AI should get very aggressive, we should try to sell a lot, right? There's some AIs there marked in orange, which were AIs focused on something called recall. It's a data sciencey thing, forget I said the word. But fundamentally what it does is it gets very aggressive. It got too aggressive, past the point where it could make money. The AIs focused on accuracy got too conservative. They didn't try hard enough and lost money. The right answer is in the middle. Math is all about extremes. Business is all about balance. Let's have balance. Let's take a look at how do we create AI. So we are going to just create an AI. We're not going to deploy it out in this meeting. You can come to the booth and see that. But what we're going to start with is Aible is going to ask me a few fundamental questions. Here we have started with a blueprint, which is a marketing blueprint, so that the use case is set up a little bit easily for me. But it first asks me the data source, standard stuff. It'll ask me what is the outcome I'm trying to predict. Here I'm going, oh, actually, by the way, there were some data quality issues he pointed out to Rita's point. If my data is dirty, if there are columns missing, if there are values to be imputed, it'll handle that, right? Now let's go in and choose that I want to figure out who's won. That's what I want to predict. And I can go in and do some data cleansing and data transformation. Let's skip past that. Now we get to the good stuff. I have 3 choices. First choice, academic AI, which is what we do today. But remember the 3 decisions you're taking. Your costs and benefits are equal. You have no operational constraints. And you don't have a manual process today. If you have this, please put up your hand. If you don't, let's put it on the right side, which is how do we build a realistic AI. By the way, in the middle there is a path which just, you may not know your costs precisely, so it's just kind of a loosey-goosey version. It's better than going with completely academic. But let's go down the realistic path where it's going to ask me 3 questions. The first thing it asks me even before I start is, do I need this to be human understandable, auditable, because I have a GDPR situation? In sales, it may not matter, so we're just going to go past, but it might really matter for some use cases. The second thing it's asking me, and by the way, the label names are not great because of the template. Let's just make that one, yeah, exactly. He just made it ignored. That's a deal that the AI told me I should not pursue. Does that make sense? But what it's giving me is the cost and benefit of winning a deal. In the slide I showed you, $25,000 if I win a deal, $200 if I don't. Does this make sense? We're just trying to get some balance going here. The next thing after that is it's going to ask me, what the heck do you do today? Now remember one thing, part of this information was in the data already, because in the data you can see how many wins and losses there were there, right? But there's a part we don't know. How many transactions did you never try for? That's something the only human expert knows. By the way, the data scientist does not know this. It's the business user who knows this. So the business user goes in and puts down, hey, you know what, there were thousands of deals I could have pursued, I just decided not to. Of them, how many do I think would have won? I have a guess, let me put that in. And remember, these don't have to be perfect. These are just better than saying, my costs and benefits are equal. Does that make sense? Now we go in and we put in our operational constraints, because I have a set number of salespeople, so I can move that around and say, what's my resource capacity? Because I want the AI optimized for the size that we have there. Let's proceed and let's run our AI. Now this is where, at the moment when he hit that button, it went in, and actually we are going to cheat a little bit. We are going to switch over to a saved run, because it will take about 5 to 10 minutes to run. But what it did when he hit that save button is it's opened up instances, in this case in AWS, and it started the model training process in AWS. In the customer's actual account, so this is not moving your data away from your account, it's doing the training in the customer's account using Python code that got generated at that moment based on the settings we gave. Should we save over? So once that whole thing finishes, it would have taken some time, it comes with a winner. What does a winner mean? It's saying, look, the net impact of this is $40 million given the constraints you have given us. And by the way, that is 20 million more than the current state you told me you had. Sounds good, right? Like I'm making more money. It's also telling me it's 15 million more than the second best AI I found. Because you may have some various reasons why you don't like the best one. It's also doing an assumption double check. Because what if I put in the wrong assumptions? Maybe my cost of doing a sale wasn't $200, it was $300, right? I put in some assumptions there. What the double check is telling me is my cost of lost, when I lost a deal, would have to be 20 times lower than what it is for the model selection to change. This is just to make sure we didn't put in bad assumptions and get stumped because of that. It's also telling me 78% of my resources could be reallocated. What does this mean? Rest of my salespeople should be out there getting new deals rather than trying to close deals. Because after the 22% of the resources, I'm losing money. If you're in the world of marketing, this means you should reallocate 78% of your marketing budget to a different campaign. Think about this. What businesses care about is not what's the prediction. They care about how do I allocate the resources. Because if you put too much money into something where you're getting diminishing returns, you're literally burning money by using AI. Now, the other thing I can go in and say is, hey, what if I choose a different model? Jonathan, could you choose something else for me? Okay, I chose gradient boosting. $1.9 million of value. But notice it's warning me that it's actually 18 million worse than current. Now somebody in the room must say, oh, this must have been a really bad model. Jonathan, could you show me what's going on there, please? So let's go, by the way, the AI's name is not Jonathan. Jonathan is my co-founder running the keys out here. So if we go to gradient boosting, that is actually incredibly accurate. Why is it accurate? Because it's very conservative. It's not trying for as many deals. But when it tries, it does really well. Does that make sense? The reason the Aible model is making more money, even though it's less accurate, the Aible model is, I admit to everyone, it is less accurate in this case. But it's making more money because it's trying a little bit harder to get a few extra deals. Does this make sense? So please, if you don't remember anything else from this session, please stop talking about accuracy in AI, because accuracy may be accurately wrong. Okay? Now, we were talking about drivers and what drives these predictions. If we scroll down, I want to see what is driving these predictions, and I can see that current month is kind of interesting. But what is more interesting to me is that May is behaving differently than the rest of the months. So it's not the month level that is interesting, it is the values of the months. But now I want to see how do the different AIs treat it. This is kind of interesting because some of the AIs are treating May as a good thing, some of them are treating it as a bad thing. This is where I need to think, because maybe the best AI was something where I as a human say, oh my god, it's just wrong, it's stupid. Okay, let's go to the next best one. Does this make sense? This is how you do a sanity check. but all the work has been done, so you can switch from one to the other. Let's scroll down, and actually, by the way, you may have this data in Tableau and you want to figure this out. The whole idea of Aible is it should be able to embed into any system. So here we have Tableau on the left, and the exact same model has been run. All Jonathan's going to do is click on the left-hand side in Tableau, and on the right-hand side, you're seeing what are the prediction drivers corresponding to that variable. Or maybe I'm looking at a prediction driver and trying to figure out, well, what was the graph for that? Because remember, this is not descriptive. Jonathan clicks on the right-hand side, and the right graph comes up in Tableau. And if you close out and show them Jonathan, he could have done the whole thing inside Tableau. This is inside Tableau server, running that entire capability. You could put it inside any application you want, as long as you can embed HTML. Rita, thank you for the time.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Do you permit me to end with one thought, though?
Go ahead.
Okay, this is really important for people. I mentioned I've been doing it for 20 years. One of the important things that changed for me is I now have a 2-year-old daughter. And when I think about the world of AI, as we look forward, we can go down one of two paths. Either we are going to go down the path of a few expert data scientists creating AI that tell us what to do, or we are going to go down the path of everyone being able to do AI for themselves. Because two different people in our organization might have different cost benefits, and they should have a different AI, even given the same data. If we don't go down this path of empowering business users with AI, we are going to go down the path of a few people telling us what to do. And by the way, you don't get to sit this battle out, because the decisions we are taking right now is deciding which path we are going on. So you're in or you're out, but if you're out, you're taking the decision as well. Thank you.
Very good, very good. Thank you.